Hi friends, this is Manish Pandey. Welcome back to UiPath Forms tutorial series. In this video, we are going to explore an exciting topic in UiPath Form. I will show you how to create dynamic dependent dropdowns, or you can say it conditional dropdown or cascaded dropdowns in UiPath Forms. We'll be using UiPath Data Service Entities along with the UiPath form to perform this. We will take two dropdowns, country and state. To store country and state data, we will use Data Service Entities and then map state dropdown with country. I mean, when user select country, then related states will be displayed in the state dropdown. So this is the scenario we will use in this video. So watch this video till the end. Let's get started. Let me show you the demo first, then you can understand what I am going to teach you in this video. Let's run this quickly. So here you can see we have pre-filled data dynamically that's coming from data service entity. We are updating this. Now, once you select any value from the country, that dependent or that related states will be displayed here. You can see we have Delhi and Karnataka. For the demo, we have just taken few data. If you select USA, you will see California and Texas. If you see Canada, then you can see Ontario. So only one record. So this is called dynamic dependent drop-downs, or you say it as a conditional drop-down. I will show you how to design this form. So watch this video till then. Let's close this form, delete all this. Let me delete this form as well. Let's go to project. Let's delete this. Okay, now this is phrase. So once you create a process here, once you create a project, the first step you need to take is go to design, go to manage packages and install uipath.form.activities, and let's take latest version 24.10.5, this version. Install that. Now we are going to also work with data service, so you install this package as well, uipath.dataservice.activities, and I have taken latest version 24.11.1. Okay, so install this, then only you can access data service. Second step, what you need to do, you need to go to data service and then create one entity, create the records in that. Let's open UiPath Data Service. So I have already created this country state mapping. If you don't know how to create entity, how to create the fields, how to create the records, I recommend you to watch my data service playlist videos. Let's click on this country state mapping. I have created two fields here, country and state with the text type. Now let's go to data. Here I have added this country and states. We have taken India and then all these states. USA and then all these states. Canada, this is states. You can add more here. Okay, so now we have this data. Next step is go to manage entities, select the entity which you created and then import that entity. So I have already imported here. You can go to the project and you can see here it is showing this one, country state mapping, right? Now we have imported that entity. After this we have to start designing our form. Let's create a form. We'll say dependent drop down form. Let's take here two drop downs. This drop down is for country. Now go to placeholder and I want to show here enter, or like please select country. So you can see it shows like this. Now go to data. Here you see we have options. This we are not going to use because we are going to populate the data dynamically. So no need to update anything in the data. Let's go to field key and make sure to put the correct valid property name here. So I will say country drop down and click save. It looks like this. Now let's take another drop down. This is for state. Same way in the placeholder we'll say please select state. Good. Go to field key. I will say field key state drop down. Good. No need to enter any value in the data source here. We will take it dynamically. Okay, so we have country and a state. Now, once the form is loaded, I want country drop down to be populated with the country data. And these data we have in the data service entity. So before showing, we need to take the data from data service and pass here. So now we'll start dragging and drop the activities here related to the forms and then data service and populate that country. Till this steps I think is clear. Let's move next. First, we will get the records from data service. So we'll write here query entity records. This activity retrieves a list of records for the selected entity from data service according to the specified filters. Select the entity and then here in the query filter, no need to filter anything for now. Just select the entity and now we are going to get all the records. Means I need all these records here. Go to output records, press Ctrl K, create a variable, say country, state, entity, data. Okay, because it has the complete records. Now we have to filter out here and then get only country data. Okay, so we'll write link queue here, expression. So let's take assign activity. Here we need to write country state entity data that we retrieved from query entity records dot. We will write here select and then function. Then function as a we can give any word like, so let's say function of entity close bracket. Then here we'll mention same entity that we created here, this one dot. Now I need data from country. Okay, now at the last we will convert this to list. Okay, save it. Store this in a variable called country list for, you can say, drop down. Go to variables, change the variable type from a string to list of a string. So that is system.collections.generic.list of system.string. After that, we will take show form activity. So now we have list of country which we need to pass to the form, and then that form will be, the drop down will be populated with these records. We'll take show form activity. We will select the form, go to arguments here. Now in the country drop down, I want to pass this value, that is country list for drop down. Now we are getting this error because this is a compiler error, because the type is a string and here we are passing a list of a string. So we need to change the type here. So go to type, select this. Okay, now we are not passing anything in the state, only country. Save it. We will keep this continue workflow execution because we are going to work with the triggers. Whenever user selects that value from the country dropdown, the state dropdown should be filled with the related states. So for that, we need to work with that, you know, country changed, that type of events, that type of triggers. So for that, I will start run local triggers here. After that, we will go to this form. Now we'll click on create on this country, because once I select any country from here, then only the based on the selected country, state should be displayed. So let's create trigger. So we'll say country change trigger. Create it. And as we have created trigger for this, so the related event is selected automatically, that is country changed, because it's drop down. So after that, I need to get that selected value from the country drop down. So next activity, we will use get form value. Select that form, go to arguments, and now let's remove this is not required. Now country drop down, in the value will say selected country. Okay, create this variable. So this will give us whatever value selected in the country drop down. Now once we have this value from here, now we need to again go to data service and then filter the records and get only state where the country is India, or get the states where the country is USA, like that. Now again we will write query entity record activity, but this time we will use filter option. Select that entity, go to query, say here filter where country equals selected country. So filter based on the country equals to whatever country we selected in the drop down. So if I select India, so it should give us all these states based on the India country. Now create output records, control K, and this we can say state list. After that, we need to take one assign activity so that I can again get this record and create a list here. So I will write here state list, which is coming from here, dot select method. Okay, open close bracket. Then I will say function of, put any name, like let's say I'll say entity, because this time I want data from entity, that state data from entity. So open close bracket, function of this function name, and then now function name which we created here, that is entity dot, and this time we will take from state. After that, at the last, we will convert this to list, TOLIST, open close bracket. Now create a variable called state list for dropdown. So let's go to the variable, change that state list for dropdown from string to list of string. Now we need to fill that data, state dropdown data, with this record. So we need to take set form values. Now we are going to update that data. Okay, select that form, go to this arguments. Now this time no need to change anything in the country. So I have removed that, you can leave as it is. Now in the state dropdown, I need to pass that. So this is state list for dropdown. Now again, we need to change the type to the list of string. Save it. I will show you one more thing. Whenever you are working on the forms, make sure to create a separate trigger to close the form. So I will create a separate form. Let's say I will go with button itself. I'll click create and I will say close form trigger. So you can click on any control, any component and create the trigger, change the name, and here instead of selecting the submit click, now we can change the event to form closed. So once form closed, like you press close from the form, then it should stop the trigger. Stop local trigger. Okay, this is close this. Now let's go to main and let's run this quickly. And now if any change is required, we will do here. Okay, so we have pre-filled data. We have India, India, USA, USA, Canada. Okay, so the first issue, we identified that we are getting all this data which we retrieved from this country state mapping entity. We need to fix this, get only unique values, distinct value, right? So that it will display only India, USA, Canada. Okay, first. Second, let's see here. Once I'll click and select India, it should display state. So it has already displayed the data with Delhi and Karnataka. Now if I change to the USA, it shows Delhi, Karnataka, California and Texas. So here is another issue. It is showing previous record as well, Delhi and Karnataka. And but the actual data is California and Texas. If I change it to another USA, so same. If I change it to Canada, now you can see it has taken one more, Ontario. So we have all these records showing here. So one issue we need to fix after stopping this record, that we need only unique values. Second, these data should be cleared. It means the previous record should be cleared. Only the related state should be displayed. Let's fix it and remove this submit button. This is not required. Close that. Now once we close that, you can see triggers is also stopped and then execution is also stopped. Let's go to dependent drop down form. Let's remove this button. This is not required. So first we need unique values in the country. First, so there are two ways to do that. If you are good in writing the code, you can do it. You need to modify here in this expression. You just need to write distinct. So it will give you unique value. Second, let me remove this. Without any coding knowledge, you can do that. How? Let me show you. Go to country, click on edit. We need to select unique options. Let's save it. Okay. Second, we need to remove the previous records. Clear all the values which selected previously. Okay. For that, go to state, go to edit and go to data. First, select here this refresh option on based on the country change. If you are changing anything in the country, the data should be refreshed, right? Now after that, save it and click on this state, click on this edit JSON. Once you click on this, you can see few things here. JSON, Click on full schema and scroll down, search for clear option. Let me see, scroll down a little bit. Um, okay, you see here there is an option clear on refresh. Currently this is false. We need to set it true. Now on refresh, this word is linked here. So save that, is linked with this option based on the country. It will refresh and clear based on this refresh country. Every time it will not clear. Once you change the country data, it will clear the records. Let's save it. Go to main, and I believe now it should run fine. Let's run that. Click on that, and you can see we only have the unique options, unique values: India, USA, and Canada, right? Let's verify this state as well. So select India. Once you select India, the country, it has two data, Delhi and Karnataka. Now if I change it to USA, it has two records, California and Texas. If I change it to Canada, it refreshes that, clear the previous record, and now it has Ontario. So based on the change in the country, it refreshes this state and then clearing the previous record. Earlier it was like storing the you know previous data as a cache, we can say. Now it is clearing the cache here, so it is not storing this data here. It's only storing the data based on this country. So you can try doing this and try adding more records in the country and in the states. I hope you learned how to create conditional drop downs and how to map country drop down with the state drop down. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.